The year is 2027. Tension grips the Middle East. Israeli intelligence agencies detect their worst fears. A hidden facility, deep within Iranian mountains. Their worst fears are confirmed. Iran finally has a nuclear weapon. Days later, 100 Israeli jets scream across the sky. Their target, the Iranian nuclear facility. A barrage of missiles and bunker-busting bombs, and the facility is vaporized. But the retaliation is swift and merciless. An Iranian missile tipped with nuclear fire targets Tel Aviv. The world watches in horror. A terrible new age has begun, the age of nuclear terror. The world holds its breath. Retaliation is inevitable. Israel unleashes its considerable nuclear arsenal, 50 warheads aimed at Iranian military bases. The night sky is ablaze with fiery death, but the horror doesn't end there. One Iranian missile evades Israeli defenses. It streaks across the Mediterranean. Its target, a U.S. naval base in Italy. Tens of thousands perish in an instant. The U.S. is drawn into the abyss. The unthinkable has happened. A regional conflict has spiraled into global nuclear war. The world stands on the precipice of annihilation. The Middle East is a tinderbox, but the threat of nuclear war extends far beyond its borders. Old hatred and rivalries simmer. New threats emerge. The world holding its breath sits on a knife's edge. India and Pakistan, locked in a deadly embrace for decades. Their nuclear arsenals have grown year on year. A single misstep could ignite a catastrophic conflict. Russia, bristling with over 5,000 nuclear weapons, rattles its saber. Ukraine again trembles under its shadow. Putin's warnings echo across the globe. China, a rising giant, expands its nuclear arsenal to nearly 1,000 warheads. Its ambitions in the Pacific raise concerns in Washington. The potential for miscalculation is terrifyingly real. And then there's North Korea, a rogue state led by an unpredictable dictator. Its nuclear tests send shockwaves through the international community. The world holds its breath with every launch. The London apocalypse. Imagining the unimaginable. Imagine, if you will, a bright sunny morning in London. Tourists flock to Trafalgar Square. Pigeons scatter, startled by a child's laughter. But then, a blinding flash. The air grows hot, 100,000 degrees in an instant of hellfire. A monstrous shadow engulfs the city. An 800-kiloton nuclear weapon detonates overhead. Buildings crumble like sandcastles. A deafening roar. A shockwave that shatters glass and bone. Hundreds of thousands vaporized in an instant. Those who survive will envy the dead. Radiation sickness sets in. A slow, agonizing death. The lucky ones, they die quickly. In the inferno. London, once a vibrant metropolis, is now a radioactive graveyard. The fog of war experts on escalation and miscalculation. How does a world striving for peace stumble into nuclear Armageddon? Experts warn of a dangerous cocktail, rising tensions, misinformation fueled by AI, the inevitable fog of war. Local conflicts, warns Dr. Alexander Bolfras, a leading expert on nuclear proliferation, can escalate rapidly. One wrong move, one miscalculation could trigger a chain reaction leading to unthinkable consequences. Viktor Galinsky, a former member of the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, echoes these concerns. In the heat of the moment, he cautions, stressed leaders may deviate from established protocols. Rational thought gives way to fear and panic. The result would be catastrophic. The integration of nuclear and conventional forces with the possible use of battlefield nuclear weapons further complicates matters. The line between conventional and nuclear conflict blurs. Misunderstandings and misinterpretations become more likely. The risk of accidental nuclear war increases exponentially. Averting Armageddon, a call for diplomacy and de-escalation. The path to nuclear war is paved with good intentions and bad decisions. But there is another way. The path of diplomacy, dialogue, and de-escalation. A path that leads away from the abyss. International cooperation is not a choice. It's a necessity. We need stronger treaties, stricter controls, and a renewed commitment to disarmament. The nuclear powers must lead the way. Dialogue is our greatest weapon, diplomacy our savior. We must keep communication channels open, even with our adversaries. Misunderstandings can be clarified, tensions can be diffused, common ground can be found. We have to invest in conflict resolution and peace-building efforts. Support organizations working to prevent violence and promote understanding. Educate future generations about the horrors of nuclear war. The doomsday clock is ticking. It now stands at 89 seconds to midnight. Our future is in the balance. The world stands at a crossroads. One path leads to destruction. The other, to a future free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. The choice is ours. The stakes have never been higher. The consequences of inaction are too horrifying to comprehend. We must act now, before it's too late. The survival of humanity depends on it. The clock is ticking. Let's choose wisely. Thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe to keep truth alive.